What is going on, guys and girls? LevelUp here at OnPointGaming's OnPointTactical. I have some Rush on Langkang Dam in Battlefield 4 on the PlayStation 4. And if you haven't noticed by the title, this is my PlayStation 4 versus Xbox One video. I've been sort of reading a lot of articles about resolution, so that's where we're going to start with this disaster. Also, I don't want to start a fanboy war. These are my honest opinions on why each console has its ups and downs, and overall, I would really enjoy it if we didn't get a bunch of hateful comments in the comments box, because that is not the sort of thing that I would like to keep around the channel. So anyway, we're going to start out with resolution, and a lot of launch titles are the reasons that people are getting either console, be it Killzone Shadowfall or Dead Rising 3 for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 has a few more launch titles as it stands right now, including Killzone Shadowfall, which is pretty much the big one. The Dead Rising 3, Forza 5, console specific titles, they're pretty much half of the reason why anybody buys either console. And previously, PlayStation was a no-brainer because of the freeness of the PlayStation Network, but now you gotta have PlayStation Plus to play online, which is fine, because I mean, PlayStation Plus does come on with a lot of money savings in various forms, so I'm not gonna complain too awful much, but it definitely has its ups and downs, being a free network versus having to pay for Plus or Xbox Live. But Killzone Shadowfall is outputting at 1080 at 60 frames a second on the PlayStation 4. On the Xbox One, Dead Rising 3 is in 720 at 30 frames a second. Forza 5, I believe, is running 1080 at 30 frames a second. Battlefield 4 is running at a native 720 upscaled 1080 on Xbox One, and running at a native 900 upscaled 1080 on the PlayStation 4, which is primarily relevant if you're looking at a bigger screen. You're going to definitely be able to see the difference between the two consoles a lot more than you would if you're on my desktop PlayStation gaming monitor, basically. Which, by the way, I will put a link for that in the comments box, because I definitely would recommend checking it out if you're on a desk. But Call of Duty Ghosts, obviously, is going to be a huge title for both consoles, and already has been for the PS3 and 360, along with the PlayStation 4. It is running at 720 on the Xbox One and a native 1080 on the PlayStation 4. So as it stands, it seems like the frame rate and resolution is exponentially higher on the PlayStation 4 compared to the Xbox One in nearly every scenario. Now, resolution is not a fix for everything. Frame rate is definitely up there, so even the frame rate increase is a very big deal to think about whenever you're looking at these new consoles. Next, we're going to go over affordability and the online networking costs. And sorry if the microphone sounds weird, I kind of set it back so I can drink my cola, since this is not a scripted commentary. I'm just kind of going at it. There's going to be several screw-ups and stutters like that. But as it stands right now, the PlayStation 4 is $100 cheaper at each price point than the Xbox One. That is going to mean something for anybody getting it for somebody for the holidays. Be it a parent getting it for a child, or the wife getting it for the husband, or the girlfriend getting it for the boyfriend, which, if he backtalks you, be sure and land a clean slap in the face, because obviously he deserves that one. Especially if you got the PlayStation 4, because it's a better console. But, you know, there's no other reason to spend more money for less than the console launch titles. And as it stands right now, Dead Rising 3 and Forza 5 are all that's going for the Xbox One. And I don't think that that's enough to get me to spend $500 for a lesser capable console. It really doesn't make any sense. So, affordability, $100 cheaper per price point per console. So, let's think about this. If you buy the Xbox One, you buy the console for $500, and then you have to get Xbox Live for a year, which is $60. That's $560. Now let's back up to the PlayStation 4. $560 is what we spent to get just the console and just Xbox Live. Let's go ahead and throw on Battlefield 4. That is up to $620 to play Battlefield 4 on the Xbox One. Now if we look at the PlayStation 4, we spend $400 on the console, $60 on plus $60 on the game, which is $100, which brings it up to $520, which is still $100 cheaper. And that means that you can either buy yet another year of PlayStation Plus or an entire another video game and then save yourself some money. That is ultimately where it comes down to getting more for less. The Sony PlayStation 4 is such a more capable box for such a low price when compared to the Xbox One. I think that in the holiday season, it was a very, very, very bad decision on Microsoft's part to make the Xbox One $100 higher, because everybody's looking to save money. So unless they either A, have really epic sales on Black Friday, or B, just reduce the price point of the console entirely, the PlayStation 4 is going to outsell the Xbox One, and there's nothing that Microsoft can do about it. Because right now, the hardware is better, and with the price points that the Xbox One is at, it makes almost no sense to go for the Xbox One over the PlayStation 4. Because at the end of the day, saving money is awesome, and getting more is awesome. It just, more for more, or less for more, or more for less is the mentality of the two consoles. And you get more for less with the PlayStation 4s, obviously. It's less for more on the Xbox One. Whenever it comes to graphics and frame rates, the online networking, the pricing, let's talk about the actual controllers, because that's a big thing, right? It's like the $60 controllers. You can buy aftermarket ones that would kind of, whatever. The controller for the PlayStation 4 is amazing. I've been using it non-stop, basically, since I got my PlayStation 4 on launch night, and I can tell you that the DualShock 4 really doesn't have any hand fatigue to speak of over extended gaming periods, because I know a lot of 360 users, and I've done it before. If you play on the 360 for very long, be it Forza or Call of Duty or whatever, the trigger is a little tiring after a while. If it's a high-speed first-person shooter game especially, you're going to suffer from more hand fatigue and less snappy reaction times if your hands are tired, and that is where the Xbox One falls short, as well as the 360. The 360 overall was a pretty capable console, but the PS3 was better. Same situation here. Well, I shouldn't say PS3 was better. It was more capable as far as processing, which is the same situation right now. The controller for the Xbox One really hasn't changed a whole lot from the 360 controller, and while that might be a good thing, I think that it's also a bad thing, because it actually got worse, if that was possible. I really do not like the Xbox One controller. It feels a little odd. The buttons aren't even colored. There's no more Skittles, which I thought was like one of the best parts about the 360 controller. At this point, the DualShock 4 is a superior controller, and all that Xbox 360 users would have to get used to is the on-screen information saying press triangle instead of press Y, or press circle instead of press B. That pretty much is all that it would come down to. I mean, it's the same layout on every game that is cross-console, so it would just be getting used to the on-screen information that the games would actually give you, which takes, I don't know, all of about 5 minutes to master. So that really isn't even a case. So let's go over what we've gone over so far. Resolution and frame rate, basically the hardware. The PlayStation 4 is a much better system. Affordability, the cost versus the hardware. Xbox One is borderline overpriced, especially when compared to PlayStation 4 at $100 cheaper, meaning that you can get a game and 3 months of PlayStation Plus to bring it up to the cost of the Xbox One. So you can get much more for considerably less whenever we're talking hundreds of dollars. So, as always, thanks for watching, guys. My verdict is PlayStation 4 is a much better system than the Xbox One. So, as always, thanks for watching, guys. I'm LevelUp here at OnPointGaming's OnPointTactical. Don't start a fanboy war down below, because that is kind of lame. Have a good one, and take it easy, guys. Don't start a fanboy war.